This week on the Spotlight, A.J. Pierzynski speaks out. He was one of the stars of the '05 World Series. Ron Karkovice, a very solid catcher, especially defensively in his own right, has an interesting interview subject. Then we talk to Thabo Sefolosha, one of the great defenders in Bulls history and still active in the NBA. And then we flash back to old Comiskey Park. Check out my website, benkowski.com, for my weekly article and up-to-the-minute trivia sites. From wherever Chicago's sports teams are making news, it's the Perfect Pitch Auto Repair Sports Spotlight. Flowers for every imaginable occasion at Lansing Floral Shop. Call them at 708-474-1212. They deliver. You've got to get to the Ballpark Pub for my trivia game. Alternate Mondays at 8 p.m. The next one, August 7th. Come eat, drink, play, and win. Easy to reach at 514 West Pershing Road. You'll have fun at the Ballpark Pub. See ya over there. You've got to get to the Sock. Live Benkowski Trivia, alternate Thursdays, 8 p.m., 93rd and Roberts Road. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. You've got to get to Dr. Sherman Clay, chiropractor. Gentle adjusting. Most insurance accepted. Massage therapy, too. Walk-ins are welcome. Call 773-324-4325. That's HEAL. Dr. Sherman Clay. Coming off a rough '07, A.J. Pierzynski faced a lot of questions, and he remains upbeat for the 2008 season.
Shake some hands, sign some autographs, and it gives the fans a chance to see us away from the field and get them a little closer and get us to know a little bit more about us.
What are you going to tell fans as far as what they can expect this season?
Hopefully a lot of wins. I mean, that's what you're looking for. That's what you come into the season expecting to do, and hopefully it'll work out.
Do you pay attention to all the moves made, not only by your team, but other teams around the league?
Not so much. I mean, I do here and there, but a lot of times I don't hear about them until 3 or 4 days later just because I don't really know how to use a computer that well. I know how to check a couple things here and there, but I'll get a phone call about it most of the time, ask for comments and stuff like that, and that's when I find out. So, you hear about them, and now it's getting closer. I'll start checking a little more, but I know the Tigers have made some big moves, and I know other teams have made big moves, so we brought in some good guys, so it's going to be tough.
Speaking of those guys, Cabrera, probably the biggest name, Gold Glover. How much does that help in the infield? And not only with him at short, but now Uribe fights for second.
It's going to help us a lot. Uribe is really good defensively. I think he doesn't get the credit he deserves as a shortstop. So having Cabrera there to push him, if Uribe plays second or if he, wherever he ends up playing, he's going to help. He's a great guy to have around. We love having him here. So Cabrera bringing him in, Swisher bringing him in. These other guys, Linebrink and Dotel, is going to help the bullpen. So all the moves are very positive. Anytime you bring in pitching, it makes the catcher happy. It makes my job a lot easier. So I'm always happy to see guys come in that know what they're doing, veteran guys that have experience, and hopefully they're healthy and they can get guys out for us.
On the other side of the coin, you're going to be handling 2 youngsters now. For the last couple of years, it's been almost totally veterans for the starting staff. How is that different for you?
I don't think it's that different. I think, Danks was here all year last year. Floyd was here almost all the year. He's been up for a long time, so I wouldn't consider these guys that young. They've been through it. They know what to expect, so it's not like we're running 2 guys fresh out of college out there, fresh out of high school, so they know what to expect, and they'll be fine.
AJ, is it?
As the underdog this year, is that a role you're just fine with?
Sure. I mean, it's better to be the underdog, I guess. I don't know, the last couple of years we were expected to win 162 games, so this year we're expected to win 0. So I guess, any win we win this year is going to be a positive. So it's fine. You like being the underdog. You like coming out and playing and not having things to pressure, but pressure is good because that means you're expected to win, and expectations are a good thing and a bad thing. If you live up to them, they're the greatest thing in the world, and if you don't, people say you choke, but there's worse things in life, and it's all about going out there and playing as hard as you can. And I'll say this about the team last year: no one ever quit, no one ever gave up, and this should be the same thing. We'll play as hard as we can, and we'll try to win every game.
about the idea that it'll be a very unique camp with a lot of positions uncertain, like 2-3 guys battling for jobs, and you haven't seen that here with the Sox yet?
Well, I don't really know what positions are open. We have pretty good first baseman, pretty good second baseman, pretty good shortstop, pretty good third baseman, pretty good right fielder, pretty good, swisher, whatever position he's
Maybe
gonna play.
third and center and second, I'm thinking.
Well, third, we have Creedy and Fields, two pretty good options. So second, Richard, Rive, whoever it is, those are another pretty good option. So I just don't see it. I think that we have veteran guys who know what they're doing out there at every position. I think it's just a matter of putting them in the right place to help them succeed. And it comes down to pitching. Position players can do what you want to do, but if you don't pitch and catch the ball, it doesn't really matter.
Comes down to pitching, and that's John Garland not here, and you can count on him for 15 to 20 wins every year. How difficult will it be for Floyd and Danks to try and build that?
Well, we'll miss Gar, obviously, as a guy, just because he's a good guy and he's been here for a long time and everyone's comfortable with him, but these other guys have to step up. Floyd's shown flash of being able to do it. Danks has shown flash of being able to do it. And then with the guys we have in the back end of our bullpen, if they can get us through 6 innings, we can hand the ball over to Linebrink, Dotel, Thornton, Logan, and then Jenks, obviously, in the 9th. So the bottom line is we have to get through 6 innings, and that's our goal, to get these guys through 6 innings and hand the ball out to the guys that can do it for us in the back end of the bullpen. And you look at the teams that win, they have great bullpens. You look at the Yankees for all those years. You look at the teams that have won, the Red Sox the last couple of years, the teams that have the great bullpens win, and pitching is what it's all about. You pitch great, you can win, and if we do that, we'll be fine.
You said Floyd and Danks have shown flashes. What will be the key to developing that consistency?
Confidence and strikes. If they throw strikes, and they'll be fine, and if we can get some confidence, they'll be fine. I think they both have the potential to be really good. Just a matter of them believing it and finding a way to be as confident out there as they can and throw the ball over the plate. And if they throw the ball over the plate, they're as good as anybody.
Are there any young pitchers that haven't been mentioned in the last couple minutes that have any chance of making the roster out of spring training?
I don't know. I don't even know who's invited to spring training, so I'd be lying.
I'm thinking like a Lance Broadway or a Hager or...
I think those guys always have a chance. They obviously have both been up. They've obviously both pitched, so I think they both have a chance. It just comes down to who throws the ball over the plate the most in spring training.
You've got to get to Lansing Floral Shop. Open at 8 a.m. daily. Besides a great array of live flowers, they have custom silks, Bridgewater candles. They want you to plan your parties early at a wide delivery area. They're located at 3420 Ridge Road in Lansing, or you can call 708-474-1212. Weddings, funerals, birthdays, anniversaries, and guys, try the No Reason flower. Believe me, it works. Lansing Floral Shop. Give them a call, 708-474-1212. Kim G. Sherman, psychotherapist, Des Plaines Wellness Center. Therapy for individuals, couples, families. Call 847-962-4849. I've known Kim for over 20 years. She is a true professional, and she will help you. Give her a call. Family Dentist, Lawrence Furlan, DDS, 109th and Kedzie. Crowns, veneers, cleanings, improving your smile. They do a great job. Call 773-233-7044. Excellent work, impeccable. Call the Family Dentist, 773-233-7044. They did a great job for me, and they'll do a great job for you. You've got to get to Shelton Fireworks, the world's largest warehouse, off Interstate 94, exit 22B in Porter, Indiana. Row after row of the best fireworks anywhere, from the little ones to the grand finales that'll end your show. Birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, in addition to the 4th of July. Just get over there to Shelton Fireworks now. Then you can reload by the time summer comes. Shelton Fireworks, I-94, exit 22B in Portage. We're back on the spotlight. It's time to talk Bulls. And I ran into a guy who I think is the easiest Bull to interview, at least for me. A guy whose game I enjoy. He represents that new breed of NBA player, the international guy. Can speak about 4 languages, I think. And a guy who I think could have a breakout season this year in this up-tempo game that Vinny Del Negro is talking about playing. That guy is Thabo Sefolosha. I don't know that he's initially in the first unit, but I see him winning a job in that starting 5 eventually. And I think a lot of that will be predicated on the way he meshes with Derrick Rose, which I also think will be great. two fine open court players, and they haven't played that much together yet, but it will happen. Thabo talks about this camp and the way things have been going for him so far. We're talking Bulls basketball, and Thabo, try to get a feel from you how camp has gone so far and some of the interesting things that you've been seeing with you and your teammates.
So far it's going pretty well. I mean, it's just a lot of work, having new coaches, staff, and all this, and a bunch of new things to put to the team. So I mean, it's been going pretty well. Just long hours at the office, I guess.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it's terminology. I imagine some of the plays are the same, but it's almost like learning a new language.
Something like that, I mean, it's just a bunch of new stuff thrown at us, and it's a lot, in just a few days or a few weeks, So I mean, there's a lot of things to learn and to assimilate. So it's just that time of the year, I guess. But once we get that sorted out, and he's gonna be okay.
One of the interesting things I would think that you're thinking about, and all players are, playing time. And when you started to make strides in the old regime to play more, everyone's sort of starting from scratch again. And what do the coaches tell you, and what kind of role are you looking to play now?
Actually, I haven't talked much about the coach, but in terms of role, in the team and all this. I think coach also try to figure, the style of game, that they're gonna demand every player to play. So I think it's gonna be on the coach. I'm not too worried about that. I just try to do what I do best, and show the coach that I'm hungry, that I want to play, and that I'm here to play, and whatever he asks me to do, I'm willing to do it. So then it's gonna be on him.
Just maybe this is an obvious thought, but with Derrick Rose with your club now, it would seem like that would push you more to more action at the 3 spot. What do you think about that?
I think I'm gonna have some more playing time probably at the 3, and also with Ben Gordon and Larry Hughes at the 2. I think that's gonna force me to play a little bit more at the 3.
And to me, this is I would think a perfect situation, because I see you as an open court player and a guy who can create out on the wing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's good. I mean, whatever position I play, whether it's the from the 1 to the 3, I think I can be efficient and do things on the court. So I'm not too worried about what position I play. The only thing is, once I'm on the court, know what the coach want me to do, and try to do it the best way I can.
Team chemistry is an important thing, and if I may, I don't know how much you know about American football. Do you know much?
A little bit, just a little.
Well, they always talk about the quarterback and the receivers, and you look for guys who you can pass with and who will know your moves on the floor. I'm looking to see how you and Derrick are beginning. Do you show some signs of meshing and being able to know when the other person's cutting or breaking to the basket?
I mean, he's a great player. He got a great understanding of the game, so he see people open on the floor all over. So, I mean, it's great to play with him. I haven't had a chance, to really play that much with him so far. So, I'm just excited because he's a great point guard who sees the floor, and I think he's going to help not only me but, the rest of the team too.
What about having more time under your belt in the league? What are some of the things you learned last year that you will apply to your game this year?
I think it's all a learning process from from day one when I started. I think I just mature and grew up a little bit in the NBA system and the type of game that we play here. So I think I'm more confident and more relaxed on the floor now that I know a little bit more what's going on around me.
I just always think back to some of the really stellar defensive jobs you did, and there were a couple of times, particularly with Kobe, and then also against Wade, and those are things that you must remember and take a certain amount of pride in.
Of course, those are great memories, but it's in the past now, so I try to focus on the coming season and all that, and not think too much about that. But definitely, that kind of things give me confidence to to keep going and try to work on my game, work hard, and believe that I can have a role in this team.
Well, just from seeing some of the things on the board, it seems like this regime too will say that the defense will set up the offense, and that's a good way to think.
That is a good way to think. I think for every team, it starts with the defense. When we play as a team on defense, then things get easier on the offensive end, and just to play together, pass the ball to each other. If we tough on the defensive end, I think it's really gonna help us on the offense.
Last year at this time, I told you take the ball to the rack. This year, I'm going to tell you don't be afraid to take the jumper.
Okay, I'll try to do both, make a mix of both.
With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. Go play at Red Shoes Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski in Alsip, featuring 16 Brunswick Gold Crown pool tables, drop fluorescent lighting fixtures, and the fabulous Grade of Cloth. Call 708-388-3700. And now video gaming is available at Red Shoes from open till close. And don't forget, the Illinois Lottery, too. That's Red Shoe Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski. You've got to get to the Sock Live Bienkowski Trivia, alternate Thursdays at 8 p.m. 93rd and Roberts Road. Great game, great people. Check out the Sock. I think you'll be glad you did when you go to my trivia game every other Thursday. 8 p.m., 93rd and Roberts Road. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie does tune-ups, transmission, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes, and emission system repair. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and they've done a great job for me. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie. You've got to get to Papa Joe's new location, 5900 West 111th Street. Italian beef, tetrazzini, great pizza, Parmesan, ravioli, and more. All my classic choices. New location, and they can still deliver into the city. Get to Papa Joe's. We're back in the spotlight at Lindy's and Gertie's, 37th and Archer on the beautiful south side of Chicago. White Sox coverage now. I had the wonderful occasion to talk to the man that they call the officer, the patrolman, the man who cuts down base runners, Ron Karkovice. And he had some very interesting conversation about the Toronto Blue Jays and about his role on the White Sox. So let's take you into Comiskey Park, and we'll talk to Ron Karkovice about what's going on in his mind and the club's. A lot of different people have contributed. There's been a lot of heroes. Would you call that kind of the symbol of the 93 White Sox?
Oh, yeah. Everybody's been pitching in. Everybody's been getting the big hits when we need them, doing the little things. And our pitch has been great this year. And it just seems like all year everything's going right for us this year. And it's just hopefully it keeps going and keeps going in the playoffs.
Well, speaking of the playoffs, we've already been seeing the graphics showing about how you and Spanky are a dominant pair as far as throwing out base runners. And, of course, Toronto has a tremendous amount of speed. What's your thoughts about the Blue Jays and the challenge they represent?
Well, they got a lot of speed over there, and their game is to get on and steal bases. So we got our work cut out for us, and I'm sure, they know that, we can throw, and they know I can throw. So it's going to be a challenge for me, and it's going to be a challenge for them, and I'm pretty excited, for it to happen.
Historically, against Ricky Henderson, I don't know the numbers. You have any idea about your success ratio against him in the league?
Well, I believe, I've only thrown him out a couple times. He's stolen off me, I think 3-4 times. So, it's going to be a challenge for me. Anytime anybody throws Ricky Henderson out, that's a job, well done. And so I'm looking for the challenge, and pretty much I can't wait.
The old adage is, to a great extent, many times the guy steals off the pitcher. Are you going to be looking at tape and helping out some of the starters primarily to go over little nuances that'll give you the jump you need?
Well, the only thing I ask for the pitchers is to hold the ball, hold them, don't let them get in a groove, don't let them get their timing down, and give me a chance to throw them out. They give me a chance to throw them out, and I don't, then it's a stolen throwing base on me. But if they don't give me a chance, pretty much, it's going to be hard for me to throw anybody out.
On the offensive side of the coin, it's said that when you get strong play up the middle, defensively, it's the core of your team. But you and Ozzie have gone well beyond that with your offensive production. Him around 280 much of the year. Yourself now hitting the 20 home run mark. What's your thoughts about your power output and what may be some greater, how should I say, extra base numbers than maybe earlier in your career?
I've always said when I was backing up Pudge, if I, ever get a chance to, get 400 or 500 at-bats, I can hit 15, 20 home runs. I've always was a power hitter in the minor leagues, and, it's just I'm a pull hitter, so, I'm going to pull, some pitches out of the ballpark. And like I said, when I said I'm going to get those ABs, I'll hit 20.
To wrap up, your lineup, great strength in the lineup, certainly from top to bottom. And maybe one of the biggest challenges Gene Lamont will have is maybe in deciding his playoff roster, who are the extra guys? Is there any chance, do you think, they could go with as few as 9 pitchers and have some people for late inning situations, or do you think they'll take a more conventional approach?
It wouldn't hurt us to take 9 pitchers because, some of our starters can go in the bullpen and come out of the bullpen and pitch for us. So, I don't think we're going to be hurting there. They might want to take extra left-hand hitters off the bench for pinch hitting late in the game. So, it's going to be pretty interesting to see what they do. And, we pretty much got to stick with this plan we've been using all year.
You've got to get to Jack's. 3325 Ridge Road in Lansing. Trivia every Tuesday at 7 p.m. A very intense competitive game. Any of half a dozen teams can win. My game show at Oliver's gets better and better at 6100 West 159th Street in Oak Forest. Live trivia alternate Thursdays at 7 p.m. Have great food, great drink, and great trivia at Oliver's. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie is great. Tune-ups, transmissions, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. They do a great job for me, and they'll do a great job for you. They're quick, and they don't charge an arm and a leg. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair, 108th and Kedzie. Trivia will be at the Sock. Alternate Thursdays at 8 p.m. 93rd and Roberts Road. Great food, great drink, great people. Everything great. Reggie's is a great place with tons of music, interesting people and staff, great food and drink at 21st and State. And amongst the cool things they have, Benkowski Trivia. All shows are now Monday at 6 p.m. Reggie's, 21st and State, a fun place.
It's very clear. We're going to have a lot of action from Old Comiskey Park as we wrap things up on the final weekend. And of course, you see the kind of dichotomy, the old stadium and the new stadium coming up right across the street. A very interesting series of facts about Old Comiskey Park, even though it'll be greatly missed and a lot of memories have taken place here. The fact of the matter is the White Sox have not had a winning tradition in Old Comiskey Park. Only once, 1917 to be exact, did the White Sox win a World Series here. Back in 1906, when the White Sox knocked off the Cubs, they weren't playing here yet. 1919, you know what happened then. And of course, 1959, the White Sox lost to the Dodgers. 1983, the White Sox were eliminated by Baltimore in the divisional playoffs. So maybe the new park will represent a new tradition of winning. Certainly the 1990 White Sox suggest that with their youth movement and a lot of the players who are still developing. Anyway, it'll be a week of memories for sure, and we'll reflect beginning with some of the people who work here at Comiskey Park. We've gone up the elevator to the press box level, and we're talking to a man who's been at Old Comiskey Park in various capacities since 1920. And that's Mr. Joe Pinotti, who's now been one of the key men in the press box area for 25 years, Joe?
Right, Pat, right. 25 years in the press box. I started working in the ballpark about 50 years ago in the concession, and then as an Andy Freen usher, and then 25 years ago up in the press box.
Now, you were telling me that you started sneaking into the old ballpark when you were about 10 years old.
That's right. That's the only way to get in. We couldn't afford to pay to get in, so we had to sneak in. We wanted to watch baseball. That was the only way to do it. We used to flip fences and climb on top of cars. We used to have a low fence in left field and right field before they built that other upper deck, and we used to be able to climb over the fence.
And who did you see in the 20s back when you came here?
Babe Ruth, and then the later years, Mickey Mantle, Lou Gehrig, and we had a lot of Ted Lyons here, Aparicio, Nellie Fox, Joe DiMaggio. Just to name quite a few. They won't all come to my mind right now.
Who's your favorite hitter to see play here?
Well, Babe Ruth was my favorite as a kid. He always stood in my mind. I mean, like the great hitters like Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio are also great hitters, but Babe Ruth seemed to stand in my mind for some reason or other. His personality, the way he was with kids and everything, he was great with kids. I never forget that.
How about favorite White Sox player?
Well, we've got quite a few. I mean, we got a few here. We got this Ozzie Guillen, Fletcher, and Aparicio was my favorite. Carrasquel, Billy Pierce was a great pitcher. Al Lopez, our manager. Early Wind. So many great ball players that I really liked that played good ball games. It's hard to pick just one exceptional one that you think is better than anybody else.
Was there a favorite season that you remember as being the most fun to come out here?
Well, 1959 when we were in the World Series, and also in 1983 when we won a division. That was very pleasant. And this year seemed to be a very good year also. I mean, we had a heck of a record here. Any other year we would win a division. Right, Pat?
We're in the bullpen with a center fielder's view of action. Of course, you're watching the tarp being lifted, but the center fielder sees it from about this angle. Now, if he's going to be looking to possibly avoid a collision with his right fielder, he's got to check out over this way. And if he's worried about colliding with his fellow outfielder in left, he's going to come back and check out over this way. And of course, if the ball's hit right to him, he'll just go back here to straightaway center field. And of course, next year, he's going to be going over there to New Comiskey Park, where things will be very much different, we can assure you. I'm sure camera crews won't be able to walk all around the outfield like we're doing here, so let's take advantage, pretending we're Lance Johnson coming in for that short little pop fly. Let's go upstairs to the upper deck and talk to veteran organist Nancy Faust about some of her fine moments in great seasons, like 1977, for example. That brought on the renewed popularity of Na Na Hey Hey.
Oh, that's right, and for which Mercury Records gave me a gold record, which I proudly display in my living room. That song became very popular again that year when we were playing Kansas City and vying for first place on a hot July Friday evening, and all the fans just joined in when I played it. And we've been doing it ever since.
Isn't it funny how some songs seem to titillate the fans? What were some of the other songs that didn't get the attention of Na Na Hey Hey that you've played and the fans seem to jump on those songs?
Well, I'll tell you one that's taken off in the last couple of years is Gary Glitter's Rock and Roll Part 2. And I had played that here about 8 years ago, never to get a response, But then all of a sudden I hear it being done at college.
You've been watching the Perfect Pitch Auto Repair Sports Spotlight. Perfect Pitch located at 108th and Kedzie. Take your vehicles there for great repairs. This week's show has been brought to you by the Lansing Floral Shop. Call for your flowers at 708-474-1212. Huck Finn, a great wide-ranging menu, along with donuts and ice cream. Open 24 hours at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Imprint Graphics, leaders in booklet, perfect bound saddle stitch. Very competitive pricing, 708-396-1010.